Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
Hope you got your lunch ready, everyone, because we are here once again for the Night Shift Racing League. This is round 6 at Pocono. I am Jason Sawford, and I'll be covering the action today at the Tricky Triangle. This unique 2.5 mile circuit is going to provide its very own challenges. But speaking of challenges, is anyone going to be able to challenge for the lead of this championship? Answer to that question, frankly, a solid yes. Evan Ethel up at the top after a great result last time out. But he is on 206 points, 204 points just behind him is Dave Hunt, with a bit of a gap back to Chris Otto, then Chris Papa, Mike Hamlin, rounding out your top 5. But we do not currently have Evan Ethel. He will not be here today, so he will be losing that lead. We do have Dave Hunt, we do have Chris Otto, we do have Chris Papa, and we do have Mike Hamlin. So it's just going to be about who gets the best race here today. So far, from what I've seen in warm-up, Mike Hamlin looks to be a very strong contender, as always. But they are currently doing qualifying now, so let's take an onboard view for a lap with Daniel Pearson here. Just see how these next-gen Cup cars are able to take the Tricky Triangle. Getting very close to the wall there on the exit of 1. And this track very much so an oval that it drives like a road course. I mean, it's all 3 turns are very distinct, very different, as that is the first lap set by Daniel Pearson. That's a 54.8. Have to see where it puts him after others complete their first laps. And it looks like that was a pretty good one from what we're seeing so far. But yeah, this track definitely more my style as driving like a road course. Well, road courses are what I'm used to. As we have the times flooding in now. So far, it is Daniel Pearson who we're on board with up at the top. He is going quicker. Just been surpassed by Chris Otto, actually, on his first flying lap. But we'll see what Pearson can do on his second. Not quite going to be enough for that pole position. So, Chris Otto at the moment leading the way and still on a second lap. Well, as I say that, he's going very slowly. No, he's not on a second lap. Scratch that, Christian Rose is on a second lap. We've got a 10-car grid here today. So far, the drivers that we'll be seeing in the feature and not seeing in that sprint race, Chris Otto and Daniel Pearson, scratch that. Craig Davidson up at the top with a 54.40 going 0.03 of a second faster than Chris Otto, has put Daniel Pearson outside of that top two. So now it's going to be Craig Davidson and Chris Otto. And I believe that is actually everyone has completed their laps now. And well in time as well, as we have about seconds left to go in qualifying until I can show you the results. Checkered flag is out. And these are the results for our qualifying session. So, yep, Craig Davidson up at the top. Very, very tight gap back to Chris Otto. So hopefully that battle will continue throughout the race. But out of those starting in this heat race, we'll have Christian Rose and Daniel Pearson on the front row of it. Rick Helms and Mike Hamlin making up row 2. Row 3 is going to be Kobe Sutphin and Chris Papa. And row 4 is going to be Del Weiser and Dave Hunt. So it's going to be interesting to see here, actually, how the qualifying pace is going to translate into race pace, because this track especially, it's not necessarily the best tell as to whether you're going to have race pace if you have that qualifying pace, because obviously 3 turns are so different, they change all throughout the race with your tyre wear, you have to drive them different when you got other cars around you, and it all changes quite a bit, so we will just have to see how they go. And Rick Helms not gridding, so he'll be starting from the pit lane in this sprint. Race. We're going to be doing 60 laps for the main race, so projected race time of, I'd say, just under an hour, considering that halfway stage break. Change it to laps. You see that we got a 6-lapper here for the heat. As we focus on league owner and poleman for the heat race, Christian Rose. He will be the one to control the field here as they round turn 3. Pace car makes that hard left onto pit road, and here we go. Green flag is out. Very good start for the 81 of Sutphin. He's already up 3 spots as Pearson gets shuffled back slightly as the inside lane seems to work pretty well in the second phase of that start. Just all trying to be single filed out here. As Mike Hamlin's able to run it to the inside of Daniel Pearson, gets a bit loose on the on the exit of the turn though, so that's going to be Chris Papa looking towards his inside for one. An interesting test to see how the overtaking is going to work and get a good view of how the defending is going to work for Mike Hamlin. But now Dale Weiss is going to try a move on Chris Papa, so whoa, sideways for the 31 up top. Is he going to keep it? He's going to keep it. Daniel Pearson isn't going to keep it. He is unfortunately in a wall and out of the running for this heat, as the top 3 have run away slightly. As Dave Hunt doesn't want to let that happen, so he's going to try and work past, but there's a challenge for the lead from Kobe Sutphin. He's swept it all the way around the outside for a lovely move, and Mike Hamlin's now going to try and get a better run off of turn 1 to try and get himself past Christian Rose. Maybe looking towards that outside, not going to be the space, goes back towards the inside. Drives it in deep. Bit sideways there through the turn, but that's fine, he can keep it in a straight line. Keep it out the wall in one piece, and he has got that position as well. Got our 2 blue machines here, Dave and Dale, battling it out with 3 to go in this heat. Dave Hunt gets it for the moment, but Dale Weiss are getting a good run off that outside. Not going to be enough though. Got to run it in deep enough to make a turn around, not to make a turn, to make a pass around here. That wasn't quite it, as Mike Hamlin's actually made his way to the lead. So their prime example at qualifying pace, not necessarily race pace. Sutphin running it a bit wide on exit, so that's going to give Christian Rose the opportunity to put a nose to his low side. He will get completely alongside through 2. Going to get very loose though, so that run is going to be stopped for now. As a white flag is out for the heat race of round 6 of the Night Shift Racing League at Pocono. Top 3, Mike Hamlin, Kobe Sutphin and Christian Rose. We run it through turn 1. Any of these 3 could win it at this point. Converging on each other. That turn 2 was crucial. Mike Hamlin has got a good gap. See if Sutphin can do anything different through 3 to try and get to him. Not going to be able to do anything. It's going to be Mike Hamlin winning the heat race. Kobe Sutphin taking home 2nd. Christian Rose in 3rd. Dave Hunt got 4th place, Dale Weiser got 5th, Chris Papa with 6th. Rick Helms taking 7th in that, and Daniel Pearson with that crash having to take 8th. So then, confirmation of the grid. We saw from qualifying Craig Davidson and Chris Otto making up the first row. We've got Mike Hamlin and Kobe Sutphin, then Christian Rose, Dave Hunt, Dale Weiser, Chris Papa, Rick Helms and Daniel Pearson rounding out the field. But as we've seen here before, with the clean racing we get, with the smaller grid sizes we get, anything can happen. Any one of these guys can win it. So don't count out anyone, because we've seen strategy make the difference in the past, even when it was a really close race. And I think today is going to be no different. How's everyone now rolling off and getting ready to start this 60-lap race. I hope everyone's made their final preparations. Hope all of you in the chat have your lunch or a snack with you. Gonna be a good one. As the pace car pulls off to the left hand side, it's not a long wait here before the green flag. Has pretty poor start from the 28 there. Allow the outside lane to get a good run on him. That outside lane did really well in the end because of the lack of help for the 9. Means he's down into 3rd. Mike Hamlin's down into 5th. Otto and Sutphin now your top 2. Whoa, Sutphin very loose. Just having to catch that on the outside. Unfortunately means he's going to lose a few positions. Just going to slot in front of Christian Rose. who also starting on that inside lane, didn't get the best of starts. It seems to be inside lane off the start really wasn't where you wanted to be. We're seeing Mike Hamlin and Chris Papa battling it out. Hamlin able to keep that position. Going to be looking forward to try and move on Dave Hunt next, but here we go for second position. Dave Hunt trying to look down the inside of Craig Davidson. He's going to get there. But the 9 should get the run. Mike Hamlin able to use some of the draft. The 9 didn't get as big of a run as I expected. We're going to be nearly 3 wide here on the exit of turn 1, getting very close between Hamlin and Papa, but Craig Davidson is able to keep Dave Hunt at bay, and there is their contact between some of the cars as Papa gets sent up nearly into the wall. I think there was a bit of a scrape, but I think he just about held that. Might have been in the wall. Very close there between himself and the 21 of Daniel Pearson as well. As Davidson must have got a terrible run off of turn 3. He's dropping positions now. Unfortunately started in first, now down to 7th place. That is how it goes sometimes, but I'm sure he can try and work it back with some strategic calls, with some smart driving. He can get back up there. Hamlin a bit loose through turn 2. Maybe Sutphin's going to be able to try and sail around his outside. Worked pretty well for him. Look at Christian Rose getting to the inside of that 28. Still not sure whether that's going to be enough to make a pass. Seems like passing on the outside is your friend. Inside, not so doable. As, oh, someone was really loose there and going towards the wall. That was Chris Otto. Right on that inside wall. As he's now going to have to battle with the most colourful car on track, Rick Helms. Rick Helms trying to avoid any crashes by making sure he's seen from a mile away. But have to say, it works. And to be honest, I think the livery works as well. I quite like it. Seems like it could be a I don't know where I was going with that. Oof. As Helms nearly accidentally running into the back of Sutphin as they were slow coming through turn 3, so Helms having to back off a bit, and he's being passed by Christian Rose. Sutphin in the 81, who's got the sport in chat, trying to make his way past the 28 of Hamlin, but Dave Hunt fairly slow ahead of him, so he's not able to do anything quite yet. But these top three absolutely bumper to bumper here. As it seems the slide job through turn 2 is what everyone is getting up to. The 81 running it a bit deep into turn 3. Gross was able to have a look, not making anything of it. Looking back a bit now, Pearson and Papa side by side coming into turn 1. Pearson's going to try and make it work on Chris Otto as well. They're going to be 3 wide as Otto's disappearing. They left him the room. Calamity avoided. As that would have been really easy to have contact with the blinking 48 car. Pearson still trying to work the inside of Papa. Battle continuing even though they both got past the 48. Battle up front still continuing. I don't think this will ever stop. As Sutphin and Hunt now side by side. '81 getting the better of the 53. He's maybe going to try and use some momentum to get up to the back of and pass Mike Hamlin. Here he goes. Absolutely neck and neck at the line. Not sure who would have got it there. But who has it now is Kobe Sutphin. He's able to get that 81 car into the lead. And we're battling for 4th as well. Everywhere you look, battles. This is what we love to see, and this is why I love being here on Tuesdays. It may tend to be a smaller grid than other leagues, but these guys still put on great races with battling all throughout the race, no matter what. I'd go to say this has been even better than some of the races we've seen in the past. As, ooh, bit of contact there between Hamlin and Dave Hunt. Yellow flag being called for that one. As Mike Hamlin is up into the outside wall. That looked like there could have been a bit of netcode involved. I'm not sure how much contact they were actually making with each other, but we will find out in the replay. I think the 28 may be just trying to squeeze Dave Hunt down a bit there while he was still there. We'll have a look again from the chopper cam. As, yeah, there was a bit of contact here, I think. 28 getting a bit low there, but I wouldn't say there's all too much harm done there. changes it up a bit at the front with Christian Rose being promoted on to the podium, and I would say we'd be seeing a good amount of pit stops here. We tend to see around about halfway, maybe slightly later into the stage, we get people coming into the pits. Say got a caution, might as well do it now, because you'll definitely still make it to the stage break. I'd have been a bit quick onto pit road for Kobe Sutphin, actually. I'm not too sure unless everyone else is being cautious. We shall see here what everyone decides to do. Who's taking what? You taking fuel? You taking tyres? Looks like Christian Rose fuel only. Sutphin took 2. Helms Davidson fuel only. Pearson took 2. And those taking 4 and a bit of damage repair for some of them. Hunt, Otto, Hamlin, Weiser and Papa. So that promotes one of the league owners, Christian Rose, up into the lead. That number 14 Chevy. And the pace car lights are off, so we're going green once again. Next time around we're going to be just under halfway through this stage. As Kobe Sutphin into the pits again, just to add a bit more fuel, make sure he's completely topped off. And Mike Hamlin still cycling some damage repair. But apart from that, everyone is ready. Sutphin's actually going to have to haul it down the track to get back to the pack, because he's only just coming out of the pits. Oh, actually, no, they're only at turn 2, so it'll be fine. For some reason I thought we were at turn 3. That is all good. Here we go, pace car peels off to the left once again. Green flag is in the air, much better start for the inside lane this time around. As we're on that long stretch until turn 1. Very wide there for about 5th place. Chris Otto once again the meat in the sandwich. As they're going to get that sort of sorted out, but not really. 53 is trying to work to the inside of the 48. Gonna now try and also work on the 31 of Chris Papa. Chris will get that good run off the turn with some draft though, so Dave Hunt is going to have to wait that little bit longer. Toby Sutphin already trying to make moves back up the pack. And I know these drivers are going to be clean, but I never expect them to be patient. Dave Hunt working the inside of Chris Papa once again. And got that one done, so now working the inside of Daniel Pearson as well. Papa running it in deep. They're going to be. They were 3 wide for a second there. But no longer. As Hunt got the move done on Papa, but not Pearson. Once again, look to that inside of the 21 car. There's going to be mid-corner contact between the two of them. Pearson not able to save it into the outside wall, just about back into the 31. 31 keeps going though, as that's heavy damage on the right side of the 21 car. He's going to have to get some repairs done on that car, and unfortunately going to put him out of touch with the rest of the pack. Putting attention back to the mid-pack. In all of that, Kobe Sutphin managed to get past Dave Hunt. And as you can see, just in the back of shot there, Dale Weiser in that Shelby livery, trying to get past Chris Papa. Just about not going to get it done that time around, though. The 31 really seems to prefer that high line through turn 1, so he might be able to get some sort of run down between 1 and 2. As Sutphin now has to look backwards. Dave Hunt is looking for a move. Tell you that 53 is not what I'd be wanting in my mirrors at this point in time. I want to be trying to keep your positions as easily as possible, but if you got Dave Hunt behind you, it's not going to be easy to keep your position. He will fight you for it. Take a look once again up at the front. Christian Rose able to keep the lead pretty convincingly over Rick Helms and Craig Davidson. And I have noticed, you'll see it coming off of the turns. Takes the normal line up. I think Helms hit the wall a little bit there, and then Rose goes low on the straights. Just to try and encourage that draft to break, and Rick Helms doesn't seem to follow him down all that much. Now we're going to move second place as Craig Davidson trying to go around the outside of the 75 car. He's going to still be on that outside, and I think he's going to be clear once they get to the camera. And he is. This is a lovely move around the outside for Davidson as crossing the line. We're going to be 8 to go in the stage. Chris Otto now back in the fight for the podium. Bobby Sutphin not far behind at all. In fact, right behind. Ooh, they're both going to move out at the same time. 81 just having to take some avoiding action there. We've seen the you try and move down the inside, it's got to be really decisive, really done quite early as Otto gets loose off the turn. That's going to allow Sutphin straight through around his outside. He had to chase it down the track a little bit. But if you have something down the inside, you have to actually be ahead coming into the turn, otherwise it seems like you've got basically no chance. Or just try and get your passes done down the straights and try and get a better run off the turns. Sutphin going for a move on Helms. As that 75 is going to be able to get a decent run out the turn from that outside lane. And you can run it in a bit deeper into turn 3. Get that run onto the long front stretch. But they will still be side by side. Inside lane gets a pretty decent run off onto the front stretch, so 81 is going to be ahead into 1. Be able to slide up in front of that 75 he is, but the 75 is going to try a switchback, though he is not gaining ground. They're just going to slot in once again single file. Otto there at a great run. Off a turn 2, used it to try and get alongside. Rick Helms got there, didn't quite get the pass done. We've got Dale Weiser running really high as he's just trying to follow Dave Hunt. To get back up to this pack, there is a gap that's formed in front of Kobe Sutphin because of all of this battling. We just quickly get an onboard shot. That's not the correct way. There you go, you can see that gap up to the top 2 of Rose and Davidson. And then a bit of a gap back to Helms and angry pack of 3 Wolves. It's Chris Papa's in the pits now. Dale Weiser trying to move on Dave Hunt at the back of this pack. And got that done really nicely actually down the inside. Now battle for 4th, Otto and Helms. Chris Otto leading in the inside into 1. Great run through the turn from Helms. A bit later in the tyre run, so it's going to be easier and easier to hold it around the outside to defend your position. But looking up at the front now, not long left of the stage, and Christian Rose has been in the lead for I think the entire time since the first caution, as this group behind them going 2 by 2. Chris Otto getting past Rick Helms, by keeping the position. I think it was getting past. You can see the gap of those top 2 have formed now, so they're going to remember this for the next stage. And best I can. Again, apologies. Though it did kick me out the iRacing server again, so... try and reconnect and hopefully it stays up. In the hope that there's still some race left. If not, then I can read you some results, I guess. But I think by now probably be done. So unfortunately there may not be to see. I am back. The race is still going on. We're under caution on lap lap 48. Bear Weiser and Craig Davidson no longer in the running. Daniel Pearson had an extended stay down pit road. Mike Hamlin and Chris Papa are currently having an extended stay down pit road. And the order is Hunt, Otto, Rose, Helms, Sutphin, Hamlin, Papa, Pearson, and then Davidson and Weiss are no longer in the race, so I don't know what we missed, but we sure missed something happening. As we will get more racing. We tend to go as we cross the line for the next time. Lights on the pace car out, so we're going to be getting underway once again shortly. If I get interviews, I may have to try and find out what happened in between that stage caution and now. As it's a pretty different order to what we've seen, but I think I can safely assume that Mike Hamlin and Chris Papa got into quite a decent sized wreck. but Dave Hunt's going to be leading off the field from the outside lane. 5-car pack at the green to lead us off with 10 to go. Dave Hunt trying to hold it against Chris Otto. Otto had the inside. Naturally, Hunt with the better line. Otto having the outside lane, he had the better run. Onto the straight. Helm's got a bit sideways. That's going to allow Sutphin through for 4th place. Looking back here, Christian Rose looking to make a challenge for 2nd position. Gonna be able to get a nose up the inside, nearly trying that. But admittedly we've seen it end in disaster before. Sutphin able to get alongside and nearly past, now has got past. So he's up into 3rd place. As now might be a challenge for the lead. Chris Otto getting so close to the rear of Dave Hunt's Chevy. In fact, all Chevys in the top 4. And Rick Helms in a Ford. Rounding out our current lead group as Kobe Sutphin able to absolutely send it. What is that? What a move. As he's completely clearing in the lead now in one fell swoop from 3rd place. And now Rose is at the back of this pack, trying to fight back up into 4th. Dave Hunt's in 2nd. Rick Helms is up to 3rd. I just want to go again from Chopper Cam to see how that happened. Everything seemed to happen in one turn. Sutphin got up the inside of Christian Rose. There. That's not what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. Nearly a bit of contact with Chris Otto. Able to get through. Much better run through the turn. As opposed to Dave Hunt. So nearly contact. But just getting through nicely and cleanly. They were nearly 3 wide behind him as well. But now he has a lead. He's got a small gap. But looking like that might evaporate fairly quickly. And Christian Rose trying to find his way back up. Now fighting Rick Helms for 3rd as we move on to 6 to go. So now it's effectively the heat race all over again. As if these guys want to work for the win, I think they've got to work together for a little bit here. You'd think with 5 to go, you go all-out attack on whoever's in front of you, but Kobe Sutphin has enough of a gap that if these guys start fighting, he'll be able to hold that gap. And that could be good enough. See, the issue now is I'm not sure what the tyre situation is, so I can't comment on it. I'd hazard a guess that Sutphin has good tyres. As we are battling in this pack, Rose is on the inside of Hunt, and Helms trying to keep that outside and actually get past Rose to get back into third place. There's going to be contact between them. They're going to get stuck together. Rick Helms sent to the inside wall, and he's going to be stopped, and that's going to cause a caution. That is Kobe Sutphin's lead gone, and that is the race for the lead once again wide open. It's going to be green-white checker when we get back underway. Let's take a look there once again from Chococam to see how this happened. So Helms moving slightly down. I think that was an engine gone, so that's why he immediately went to pits. Maybe didn't have to be a caution as he was so far down. Not sure if it was admin called or whether it was game called. Well, I thought he jumped to pits, but he's driving, so that might not be the case. As it's going to be interesting to see what these guys decide to do. I think it's fair bet that Rick Helms is going to pit. So if you are Christian Rose, who's going to be in 4th place, you might as well come in as well, because the only guy behind you is going to be coming in. And then what does that leave for the front guys? Obviously, if Kobe Sutphin comes in, Dave Hunt's not going to bother. Because then you got the opportunity for the lead right there. But at the same time, if Sutphin doesn't come in, everyone else does. And you might be left out to dry. So Sutphin will not be coming in. Bit of games being played there. Dave Hunt coming in, Christian Rose coming in, Rick Helms naturally coming in as well. But Sutphin and Otto staying out. Daniel Pearson there getting the lucky dog. He won't be on the lead lap, unfortunately, still, despite that. But I'm just waiting to see here what these guys are taking. I would assume tyres and a bit of fuel, and that is true for all 3 of them. And maybe a little bit of small amount of damage repair on Christian Rose, naturally some damage repair on Rick Helms as well. So really not the ideal situation for these lead 2. Because you're going to have 2, maybe 3 cars if Rick Helms can get out the pits in time behind you on fresh tyres. with probably enough time to get past. So do you pit? Try and get those fresh tyres yourself and guaranteed relinquish the track position, or are you staying out and hoping that still can hold it? Looks like option 2. Stay out, hope you can hold it. And we will see if they can. Looks like Rick Helms has decided to park it. So maybe he wasn't able to get out the pits in time and wouldn't lose anything by parking it. Pearson's not going to be able to get the laps back. He wouldn't gain anything from being a lap down either, so decided that that's enough for him. And now we have, interestingly enough, 4 car pack to round it off. Front 2 on used tyres, the back 2 on fresh tyres. And to be honest, the person with the best seat in the house to watch this, Daniel Pearson. I'd want this seat to watch this battle going on. We will see how it pans out from TV2 as the pace car pulls down pit road for hopefully the last time. Green flag in the air. Decent enough restart for that front 2, but they got together. And that's going to be the 81 in the wall, 48 spun round as well. Second caution? No. Nothing for that one. Yep, something for that one. And now here I go, checking the green-white checker rules. There we go, found it. 3 green-white checker attempts. But let's take another look at that one. That was a strange incident, almost as if they got stuck together. Yeah, they did a bit there. That's I think part driver error and part iRacing physics having an absolute day of it. There's now it's Otto with that very damaged 48 car pulling in. See how the 81 is by comparison. Not as bad, but still not a clean looking race car. Now, actually, this means Daniel Pearson probably will get the laps back on Rick Helms in the end. So I'm not sure whether it was his decision to park it or not. Might have had too much damage to be able to get it back out in time, but I think Pearson will be able to get those laps. Promote himself into 5th place. Chris Otto is going to be able to get out in time. Kobe Sutphin still sat in the pits. So, if this 48 is a competitive car, in other words, if enough damage has been repaired, we'll take a look to see if I reckon so. Probably not, in my opinion. Sutphin actually did get out in time. Thought he wouldn't, but he did. Not sure that's going to be able to be a challenger either, but I am absolutely happy to be proved wrong. But all assumptions here say that this is going to be a 2-car battle for the end and for the win between Christian Rose and Dave Hunt. If I have a look at the standings, this would actually be the first win of the season for either of them. Quite surprising, especially for Dave Hunt, who is second in points, guaranteed first, as unfortunately Evan Ethel can't be here. But pace car is off, the 48 has arrived, with the 81 still arriving. We go green here. There he is, he's made it. Rose able to hold off through turn 1. Yep, the pack's very much forming here. As Christian Rose doing very well to get away, actually. Because the gap between Dave Hunt and Chris Otto is lower. It's a smaller gap than the gap between himself and Christian Rose. As they're now on the white flag lap. 0.6 of a second gap for Christian Rose. This could well be enough. Our closest battle is for the last podium spot between Chris Otto and Kobe Sutphin. Sutphin's going to be would be very happy with a podium today, as it would be his first race in the Cup Series with this league. Will it be a podium for him? It will be a podium for him. I think Otto ran out of fuel on the line, and Christian Roast getting the win there over Dave Hunt. Is that a run out of fuel? Is that an engine deciding to not be an engine anymore? Who knows? Either way, Kobe Sutphin able to get up into that third place. Dave Hunt having to settle for second in the end, and Christian Roast with a well-fought victory. Keep watching him. So I'll let the chat rate his donuts out of 10. I'd say overall those were some pretty good donuts. Let's see if we can hear from him now. Hello, Christian.
Hello, hello.
So, first win of the season. Unfortunately, you know about the small broadcast issues that we had. Got back in the end for the last, well, let's say about 20 laps because of the 2 cautions at the end. But how did that one go for you?
Oh, that was really good. There was a lot of real close, tight racing there, middle of the race or so. It's unfortunate that the broadcast missed it, but hey, stuff happens. Really, really happy to get this one. This is my first win ever in the NSRL. I've had a heat race win once before. That was ever it. So really happy to get this one. Thanks to Chris Papa and Chris Otto for kind of spotting me, cheering me on there and everything. Really wish we could have gone green and had a couple more cars there at the end to make a good racing, but it was really good altogether. Really liked it.
Yeah, so congratulations again. What would be your highlight from this race? Maybe something we haven't seen.
Actually, after I believe it was a stage caution, or one of the first cautions, I pulled in my eyes, a really nice crossover move on Rick. When I started on the lead on the outside, he got the better run into turn 1, and I was able to cross him over down the straightaway there into turn 2 and get by him and led the rest of the stage there. So I was really happy about that one. And then beating Dave there at the end. Dave's a really good competitor. I think he's been here probably one of the longest tenured guys here in the league, and beating him is awesome. So I'm really happy with that. Just overall really good race.
Yeah, and speaking of really good race, next week, Homestead. What are your thoughts going into it?
I have not raced Homestead in these cars, but from what I've heard, it can get pretty treacherous with the car stepping out, getting loose when you get to some seams and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. Going to make sure to get some practice in and hopefully get some more good racing in here. Kobe, this was his first week with us, and from the sounds of it, he raced our ARCA series yesterday and had a shot to win that one, and had a really good shot to win today. So I'm really looking forward to see what he can do, and everyone else get some more racing in next week.
Yeah, well, congratulations once again. And before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Of course. First of all, thanks to you for putting this broadcast on. Yeah, there were some issues in the middle there, but I'm really glad that you got it fixed out. Thank you to getting that taken care of. Thanks to my wife for supporting me here. Everyone else who's watched my streams, watched the broadcast. Chris Papa at 1-3 Speed for sponsoring the series this year along with me. Again, my teammates, Otto and Papa, for helping me out there towards the end. And again, everyone watching here, it's nice to be able to race during the days here and put on a good show.
Yeah, and congratulations, I guess. Where'd you like to be put back to?
Thank you, sir. I will jump out of here and you can take in the next one.
Yeah, sure thing.
Thank you, sir.
So, see if grab second place driver now. Hello, Dave. It's Jason in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I got you, Jason.
So, second place in the end, up from 6th. It's a pretty good race, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's some like netcode issues or something going on there. I don't know what happened. I got to go back and watch your broadcast. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, there were a couple issues during the middle, but we got the end, so you should be able to see some of that. At the end, with the cars being side by side, do you reckon they were just being grabbed by iRacing or something?
Yeah, stuff like that shouldn't happen, I wouldn't think, but it did, and so it's sort of unfortunate. I would like to have raced there for the end with more cars than what we had.
Yeah, but apart from that, do you have any highlights of this race?
Sort of up and down for me, I think. I was back into the front, and Pocono, I used to hate this track, but man, it's one of my favorites now. I just like racing here. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it was a great race from what I've seen, but before I let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Oh, my family, my friends, all the fans out there watching. You up there in the booth, Jason, our league sponsors, and then my personal sponsor, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University.
Yeah, well, congratulations, and actually, just one more thing. What are your thoughts going into Homestead next week?
Oh, another one of my tracks I really like, so looking forward to that one.
Well, there you go. Hopefully we'll be speaking to you in that one as well.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Yep, see you then.
Yep.
Seeing. Hello, Kobe. You got me up in the booth.
Yeah, gotcha.
So, third place on your debut race in the Cup Series for an SRL. You can't really complain, I guess.
Yeah, can't complain. Still disappointed, honestly. I felt I had that one in the bag, and then unfortunate net code I'm gonna go with and just say it, even though it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I look back at both of those, both the one concerning you and
Otto.
the one that happened behind you. Yeah, to me they both looked like weird iRacing physics with cars dragging. It didn't look like how the cars would react in real life, so I think we'll let you off on on that one and whatever the other one was with other people. But still, overall, a great race, and you've got to be happy with the pace that you had, especially on first time coming into this league.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely gonna be a fun league. It's just I just had bad luck for the last two races, which is fine. Debut race, rookie mistakes. Just gonna go with that. What we got next? Homestead.
Yep.
Should be good. Should be fun. Want redemption for yesterday.
Well, that was already my next question, so we've got that one answered. So only one left is, before I let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank Mike Hamlin and his team for getting me in here. Since I am a overnighter, it's nice to have a league where I can race during the day and actually enjoy it. So, gonna look forward to the following weeks and see how that goes.
Yeah, so congratulations, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week as well.
Appreciate it. Thank you for putting on the broadcast, by the way. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for racing.
All right, man.
So that was round 6, or at least that was most of it. Again, apologies for the issues that we had in the middle of the race. Luckily, catch the start, catch the end. Seemed like it was quite a few things that happened in the middle. I'll see if I can get to know what happened and catch you all up in the next broadcast, but that is going to be about it. Yeah, that is going to be about it from me. I have been Jason Sawford, covering the Night Shift Racing League. I'll be back again next Tuesday, same time, same place, hopefully with less issues. So be sure to come back for